Good morning. How the devil are you doing this fine day? Me firing on all cylinders, and some of those cylinders aren't even mine. I had to park the first shoot of my planned vlog yesterday. I got the camera out and the heavens opened. Maybe when the clouds part, but my day today is busy enough already. I'm going to put the finishing touches to a feature-length episode of a new podcast that we're filming. I'm scheduled on a Zoom call at 9 and at 7 p.m. this evening, I will be playing host to the great and the good of the Construction Content Creators Club. But before we even get to that, we have a packed show for you today, and it's a packed show with a big payoff for one lucky person. We are giving away this fine specimen. Don't know what the back looks like. There you are. That right there. Scale model of a Volvo Liebherr TA230 ADT. Now, I'm going to make this really easy for you. For your chance to win that model, you need to type TA230 into the chat. No spaces. I'm not bothered if it's capitals or not. I'm just trying to make sure that the machine understands what you're saying. TA230 into the chat. We will be doing the draw at the end of the show. And I will keep throwing that banner up throughout the show just to remind you along the way. As I say, we'll draw the winner at the end of the show. Now, without further ado, let me roll the intro, post the question of the day, and get this show on the road. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I'm your host, Mark Anthony. It is Wednesday, the 12th of April. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony. In today's show, Rammer unveils a new line of demolition tools. We get the lowdown on the rebranding of Doosan as Develon. The Eagle has landed at ConExpo and Caterpillar shares its vision. Link. Plus, we're giving away, as I've already mentioned, an exclusive TA230 model from Liebherr. Not from Volvo, but from Liebherr. You can see exactly how to enter down the bottom of the screen there. And we will get to all of that in just a second, I promise. But first, let's see who among the rich and the shameless will be celebrating a birthday on this day of days. Happy birthday! And it's many happy returns to weird singer Tiny Tim and to playwright Alan Ayckbourn. Happy birthday also to jazzman Herbie Hancock, former South African President Jacob Zuma, and to the greatest chat show host of them all, David Letterman, author Tom Clancy, and to singer David Cassidy, to Will Sargent from Echo and the Bunnymen, actress Claire Danes, and to another actress, Saoirse Ronan. But far more importantly, today marks the birthday of my lifelong idol, the best player to ever wear the claret and blue of West Ham, and still the only England captain to lift the World Cup, the incomparable Mr. Bobby Moore. And don't even get me started on why he was never Sir Bobby Moore. That oversight alone should have ended the monarchy. Just saying, many happy returns to them one and all. Now, before we get started, here's a very quick reminder of our question of the day. Do you collect digger models? I know we've already had a few people that have said yes. If you do, that will make a fine addition to your... let me try and do it without the light on it. There you are. That will make a fine addition to your collection. If you haven't started collecting models, maybe that is where you start. Now, should we do the show properly now? Yes. Let me get one of these out of the way. Right, the name Rammer is synonymous with hydraulic breakers, and rightly so. The Finnish manufacturer makes some of the very best hammers in the entire world. But as you're about to see, the company has rather more to offer those in the field of demolition than just breakers.
Here at the Rammer booth at ConExpo, we're extremely excited to showcase our new demolition tool attachment line. Standing here by the RPV 29R pulverizer. Rammer has been manufacturing and distributing for about the last 7-8 years in Europe, but it's our launch here in North America. So the RPV29R is for processing concrete. You know, you can use it for both primary demolition and secondary processing. This unit fits ranges anywhere from about a 55,000 pound excavator to a 70,000 pound excavator. We're extremely excited to release our Rammer RSS 23R scrap shear. It fits a range of anywhere, depending on if it is boom mounted or arm mounted, anywhere from 30,000 pound to 60,000 pound carrier. Obviously, its primary focus is for steel demolition, whether it's recycling, primary demolition, or just processing material. Standing in front of the RGP23R, it's our new grapple line. This unit fits between a 45 to 50,000 pound carrier. It's ideal for primary demolition, sorting material, and stone placement.
Yeah, I've seen those breakers or those models. Get your brain in gear. I've seen those tools up close and personal, and they really do look the part. I wish Rammer every success with those new products. Now, I've already put the banner back up. Type TA230 into the chat for your chance to win. That fine specimen. One thing I do find slightly surprising, yesterday we were giving away a model that was about, let me think, about that big. 15, 16 entries. Today, we've got a monster of a giveaway. So far, 6. You currently have a 1 in 6 chance of winning that TA230 model. So if you haven't entered already, make sure you do so. You will recall, I'm sure you will recall that ConExpo 2023 marked the official switch from the Doosan to the Develon name. We brought you details of that just before the show, but now it's time to learn the story behind the rebranding story.
Hi, I'm Alice Bannock with Develon North America. I'm the Senior Marketing Manager. So we've been Doosan for several decades, and Hyundai in 2001 purchased the Doosan Construction Equipment Division, and with that change came a need to change the brand within a certain time period. And so a lot of hard thinking by headquarters globally. What does the brand mean and what is that going to be? And it was determined to be Develon. Sounds like develop, so truly developing onwards is what the name really means, and it's moving onward into the future with the new brand. Develon and Hyundai will remain separate entities, and we will be sister companies under the Hyundai global brands. So we will continue to maintain our businesses and operate independently. Definitely there are going to be synergies in our shared resources, such as R&D and purchasing power and things like that. We are developing onwards to build for the future, and what we have here today is autonomous equipment. We have 2 autonomous machines that will be operating on their own as well as with remote control. So truly making that leap into the future for an autonomous construction site. Autonomous equipment is part of the future. Definitely, we still need operators. We still need the human technology behind all of this. The autonomous is for those areas that are particularly difficult to work in. Autonomous uses the satellite drone technology to map out the terrain, so it's really for those types of situations. Definitely we will continue to lead that but definitely we are still working on manned equipment as well. I think it's a great opportunity to move forward and to develop onwards with the new brand Develon.
Yeah, I have to say, regardless of the name on the side, Develon had some of the most advanced looking machines at the show. The remote controlled dozer and excavator combo looked absolutely futuristic and were a real crowd pleaser. I look forward to seeing what Develon develops next, and we're staying in Las Vegas right after this. You're now down to a 1 in 7 chance of winning this fine specimen, the Liebherr TA230. You can see how to enter down the bottom of the screen there. If you haven't done so already, make sure you do so. Now, I said we were staying in Vegas, and so we are. In fact, while the product I'm about to show you is impressive, one of the reasons I wanted to share this film was because it gives you an insight into the sheer scale of the ConExpo halls. So, put on your walking shoes and let's head for Eagle Crusher. My feet started throbbing just watching that. Really was some crusher though, right?
Since the finance bill came into effect in April, the construction industry has seen a surge of fuel thefts. The rising cost of living has placed an additional risk of theft by employees and contractors, as well as opportunistic thieves. By using diesel dye and placing warnings of its use, you are sending a clear message that this is your fuel.
It is almost time to find out who has won the Volvo. I keep saying that, the Liebherr TA230 scale model. How many have we got? We've got 9 entries. We do need to make it double figures, I think. It's a very valuable prize indeed. So if you haven't done so already, type TA230 into the chat. The last film of the day is going to last for about 2 minutes, I think. So you've got roughly 120 seconds to type TA230 into the chat just below. As I said, we do have one final film for you, and this one demonstrates how advanced data collection is driving productivity and minimizing carbon emissions at a German quarry. Don't forget TA230 in the chat.
Here in this square we have an open area of about 30 hectares. And the volume is about 10 million cubic meter. Our yearly production is up to 1 million tons of granite and diorite each year. We produce here the building materials for railways, for waterways, and also the aggregates for asphalt and concrete industry. The more productivity we have In the end, it's the more profit. And on the opposite side, it's also less emissions of carbon dioxide. We have here an amazing amount of data all over the year, where the trucks are running, how long did it take, the idling time, the loading time, and so on. In the past, we just, we thought about what's happening there, but now we know it, and now, based on data, we can make decisions to have a more productive year, less fuel consumption, less idling time, and of course, less CO2 emissions. Step by step, we really have seen that it's a very high accuracy. What is loading, what's in the system? If somebody will ask me if it's worth, I would say definitely yes. You can save operating hours, and in the end you have less cost, more profit, and you can handling your challenges for the future.
Nice film, nice system. It is time. I've kept you waiting long enough. It's time to find out who has won our Liebherr TA230 ADT model, which looks just like that. That will be going in the post for somebody today. You have about 10 seconds to type TA230 into the chat. Otherwise, you will have missed the boat. Let me throw up the randomizer on the screen. Let me see. We have 9 entries. So, any more for any more? Doesn't look like it. Let's roll the randomizer. Al Grierson has won. Yes, there's a reason I'm laughing. I reckon this model is worth somewhere around about £100, which is more or less the amount that it's likely to cost Al to get it through customs over in Luxembourg. But congratulations, Al. I think I've just landed you with a bill. And for that, I can only apologise. If there is something I can do at this end to minimise the cost at your end, please let me know what it is that I need to do. But congratulations. Well done, Al. That's going to cost you. Yes, it is going to cost him a lot. Dick. Only joking, says Steve Williamson. Well done, Al. Indeed. Yeah, after vet bills, that's how much it will be. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Yes, but congratulations, Al. It really is a very fine specimen. I've got to be honest with you. I'm giving it away because I've got 2 of them. And I've got a spare. The other one is in pride of place in my house. So congratulations. And Dan Cullen's just arrived and says, "Well done, Al." So congratulations once again. Let me see. Yes, prizes. I think I've exhausted all of our ConExpo prizes now. So with the Plant Works show now just 62 days away, I checked this morning, 62 days away, our next round of giveaways will all be Plant Works prizes. We have ducks, we have bags, we have hats. Sometimes we will actually combine the 3 and give away bigger boxes of prizes. Do you collect models, Mark? No, I don't. Over the years, I've given away literally hundreds of models. It's only since I've been in this office that I've started to hang on to a few. You can probably see, there is a bit of a collector's item from JCB. There are a few models about the place, but I'm not, because I can't be bothered to dust them, to be perfectly honest. So by and large, if I get a model, it goes back out the door. And primarily, I think, because I think you guys are probably a little more deserving, a little more keyed into these sort of things. If somebody wants to send me a model of a typewriter, hey, I'm all over that. But yeah, models of diggers doesn't really do it for me. We'll talk about that after the end of the show.
Sorry to interrupt the guy with the funny glasses, but if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button as it helps our channel. Or better still, share this video with a friend or a colleague. Thank you. Right. Back to Beardy.
Steve Williamson has come back and said, "Do you collect anything?" Fishing tackle. Got a lot of that. Oh boy, have I got a lot of that. Gary reckons I only collect hats. I do have a lot of those as well. but no doubles anymore. I've managed to rid myself of all the doubles. That's not to say, I mean, I've got several from Caterpillar, a couple from Case, and a couple from Liebherr as well, different styles, different colours and stuff like that. But no, they just arrive, and unless if I've already got one or I've got one similar to it, they go out the door as well. So yes, that pretty much wraps up the main part of this morning's show. I'm going to roll the outro in just a second before leaping gazelle-like over into the chat to see what you're all saying today. If you can't stick around for that, then please stay safe, look after yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues. Have a great day, and thanks for watching. But if you do have the time and the inclination, I'll see you on the other side of this for the crack. Let's change the music up a bit today, shall we? Yes, it's my Wednesday mood. How are we all today? Nice and busy in the chat, as always. Let's have a run back to the very beginning and see who we had in the house. I think Steve Williamson was the first off the mark this morning. Good morning, Steve, up in Bonnie, Scotland, and over to Ken Hatcher over in Welsh, Wales, who has some typically Welsh weather. Does it ever stop raining in Wales? Don't think I've ever seen it. Gary Muirhead, also in Scotland. Some people are big in America. Some people are big in Japan. Apparently, I'm big in Scotland. Quite big in the waistline as well, but that's a whole other story. Morning, Gary. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Mark Whiting is in the house. Good morning, Mark. Thank you very much indeed for being here. Jim Turner's here as well. Morning, Jim. Fantastic stuff. Speaking of prizes, I got my box yesterday, Mark. Some great goodies. Wearing my alu cap today. I hope to see that on your TikTok or your Instagram or one of those things at some point in the very near future. But congratulations on that, Steve, and congratulations again to Al. Steve Williamson, I'm afraid this time, mate, you missed out. But as I say, there's more plant worksy type stuff. Nowhere near as sexy as the TA230, but there's more to come. Our friends down at Kent Demolition are in the house as well. Morning to Team Kent Demolition, Team Paget down there. Ken Hatcher says there are a few models, but not really a character. That's the same as me. There are a few that really stand out. I've got made an excavator model to market. I think it was his 50th anniversary of sales in America, and it's got a bit of a Stars and Stripes theme to it. I was given that, and that stayed with me. That's going absolutely nowhere. And as I've already said, let me do it this way. There you are. There's a nicely lit JCB hydrogen model up there as well. Don't think there's too many of those about, so that's exactly why that one's staying exactly where it is. Question of the day about, are you a collector? I'd like to be. When I get a room in the house I can convert to an office. I have models and hats on display. It's a slippery slope, Dave. I'm telling you now. You start to find models and hats begin to encroach upon you. Like I've got them all like on a dado rail up above my head. I know you can't see where my fingers are pointing, but they go all the way around the room. I filled that. I've run out of space, so I'm now taking up my notice board here as well. I don't know where the next batch are going to go. Maybe the Italians are beyond base. Going to go to Roma. They'll give me something much nicer than base. Al Pearson, our eventual winner. Morning, Al. I'm sure I got your address, but please do remind me of offline, and I will get that in the post for you today. Gary Muirhead says, yes, got a mixture of diggers, dozers and dump trucks, various manufacturers. Yeah, I'm sure I've mentioned this before. For a period of about 10-12 years, myself and my old business partner used to do the PR for the mighty Caterpillar out of Europe, out of Geneva. And we had in our office, we had cabinet on the virgin floor, and we had, I don't know, off the top of my head, maybe 100 Caterpillar models. And then sadly, my former business partner died, and they were all boxed up, and Lord alone knows what happened to them. Don't know. I mean, let's face it, they belonged to his family. Hopefully they sold them off and made a few quid. I don't know. Al Grierson says he sort of collects. Well, your sort of collection just got a little bit bigger. We'll do in the next few days. Now, let's see what Jim Hunter says. He's not a collector, but he's trying to collect real plant. You're doing it the expensive way when I could afford it, he says. When I was a kid, I was very jealous of my cousin as my uncle was a cat demonstrator and he had a model of nearly everything cat made. What a weird coincidence. I wouldn't say we had everything that cat made, but we did, and this wasn't me, this was my old business partner. We had like a 777 being loaded by a big cat excavator, and it even had in the back of the dump truck fragments of rock from various places that my business partner and I had travelled to overseas. I brought back a piece of rock from Alexandria in Egypt, for example, and another piece of granite from Finland and stuff like that. I don't do the models anymore, but I can tell you you can't see it because it's behind the camera, but I've got a piece of the old Upton Park Stadium that I picked up while I was watching Ride Demolition and Knock It Down, and I've also got a piece of the old Wembley Stadium as well, because I was watching Armac do some work on that. So I've got bits of concrete from 2 major football stadiums, well, one major and one for West Ham. That's a whole other story. Steve Williamson says, when you see that remote control dozer, is it only me that thinks I just want to sit on it and work the remote? Without telling tales out of school, anyone that was walking past on the day before the show opened will have seen that the guy operating the excavator remote control was doing precisely that. He was actually sat on it. He wasn't digging, it wasn't moving, but he was actually sat there setting up the remote control. And I guess there is a reason that being behind the boom, the dipper, and the bucket is a vantage point. Maybe that doesn't change, even if you can then walk around. I don't know. Let's have a look. Who else have we got here? Rob Thompson. Oh no, Mick Dalton was next off the line. Rob Thompson's here as well. Morning, gentlemen. Thank you very much indeed for being here. I'm not sure if Rob is even here anymore. Can't watch too much. Job and knock. In that case, he may well be on his way home by now. The holes at Balmer, me and Ed got lost. Totally lost our bearings. Just huge. Yeah. Very, very easily done. To the point where, I mean, ConExpo is big. Balmer is beyond explanation. It was so big that on the final day, not last Balmer, but on the Balmer 2019, myself and Fred, we'd had to go and film something at the very far end of the show, and as we were coming back, we were using the moving walkways that are above the show, and we went past 2 halls that we didn't even know existed. Thankfully, they were filled with things that I wasn't even remotely interested in. Big on-highway trucks, cement and concrete plants and stuff like that. Not interested at all. But we'd have managed to miss 2 absolutely vast halls entirely. As Gary Muirhead says, you just can't get your head around how massive the ConExpo show is. I'm sure I mentioned this when I came back. ConExpo 2020, I was going from halls to the outside area and stuff using the monorail. The monorail gets very, very busy, and because we were being paid to film, and we've been allocated slots on various places, we were literally taking Ubers and lifts and taxis between film locations, and from the festival ground back to like the West Hall and the North Hall was about 20 minutes in a taxi. Now, okay, it does have to go a bit of a tortuous route because of traffic flows and one-way systems and what have you, but 20 minutes in a car. Imagine trying to walk that. You'd be there we were there all day, but you get the idea. Everything in Vegas is big. Yes, indeed. I encountered some of those people while I was there. Remote control construction equipment has been in use by Royal Engineers and bomb disposal units for over 50 years. Yes, indeed. And who was it that we turned to in the aftermath of the Didcot disaster, with half of the boiler house that collapsed remaining upstanding? We looked to the military, or more specifically, we looked to Orford Technologies, who actually do a lot of work with the military. They used remote control equipment to place the explosives, go in the buildings without people, because the structure was considered unsafe and unstable. Go and place the explosives, and then the entire blast was done from a safe distance. So yeah, you are. Cat are pushing into the tech. They most certainly are. All of the major brands are pushing into the tech, and I think it's very telling where you get these major, like the CES show, the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas now. I know Caterpillar did it 2 or 3 years ago, and I know Komatsu have done it since. I'm fairly sure Volvo have done it as well. I think there used to be a time, I used to claim that construction equipment was somewhere around about 5 years behind the automotive sector. Some of what is taking place in the field of construction equipment now is actually overtaking what's happening in the automotive sector, and I understand that. Something like an autonomous machine, I think there will be so many hurdles. I realise we have self-driving Teslas that are legal in some parts of the world, parts of America, for example, but there will be so many legal and safety obstacles to overcome before we accept the idea of a self-driving car on our roads. A self-driving excavator or wheel loader or dozer away from roads and away from people in general, I think we'll get there. We've already got there first. Those big autonomous cat trucks that are working in Australia and in Africa as well, I think. They've literally moved, I think it's 4 billion tons of material without a single incident. Says it all. Well done, Al. That's going to cost you, says Gary Muirhead. It certainly is. Lots of people offering their congratulations. At least I can't even pronounce that. At least we'll know that it doesn't have bovine spongiform encephalopathy, something like that. I don't know. One of those things. Only collects hats. Yes, I do. Completely by accident. Morning, Mark, everyone. Happy hump day. Busy at Muckaway, says Dan Cullen. By the way, John Deere got in touch. They're sending a new cap from America. It's funny you should say that, Steve, because after you moaned about the loss of your hat yesterday, I actually dug through last night. I dug through all the business cards that I'd picked up, and I actually found one of the guys that I met from John Deere. I was actually going to drop him a line on your behalf today. You've saved me a job, so congratulations. Look, I hope the hat arrives, and I hope you can keep it away from Freddie's teeth. I collect hats and models and hoodies, anything that's free. Advertising for companies, yeah. I'm a big fan of anything free, I have to say. I only collect a few models because I know exactly how my wife will react if I go full hoarder. Yeah, and you do have to keep them clean. They do. The one that I've already mentioned there, that JCB one, it's in a plastic case. And man alive, give it 2 or 3 days and it looks like it's been up there for 30 years. Many of them are models of Luxembourgish machines and kit that I just love the design of. Kobelco SK140SR-7, for example. Need to go and have a look at that. Is Fred coming on tonight for the live chat? No, he's actually playing squash tonight. He does, as you well know, Steve, he doesn't do much in the way of live stuff. But no, he is playing squash tonight with his brother. You'll just have the pleasure of my company. But I do have some interesting stuff to show you if you are among our content creators club. Look forward to seeing you tonight. I think we need another big manufacturer show. You mean one of these shows? If so, let me know. I'm more than happy to reach out. I'm still in talks with JCB about actually doing some live shows from their headquarters, maybe one of these days. Mad cow disease, that explains why I couldn't pronounce the spongiform thing earlier. Let's have a look. Mick Norton says, manufacturers are truly ahead of the technological game with engineering plant. It's a great shame all but a few training providers haven't done the same. Quite right. Is Fred going to Plantworks? Fred is going to Plantworks. I wish you could see him right now. He's not a big fan of Plantworks, I'll be absolutely honest with you. I wouldn't say I'm bribing him to go, but money will change hands. The problem with Plantworks, and I mean this with all due respect, I think Fred's been to 3, and he has been rained upon all 3 times. On one occasion, he spent 3 days there and literally didn't get the camera out of the bag. And then when you compare that to Bauma, to ConExpo, to Samota. So yes, I'm having to wave £5 notes under his nose, but he will be there. He will be there, and it's getting him there that's the problem. Once he gets there, he's in his element, because people recognise him and he feels like the king of the world. But getting there in the first place. Listen, it's an easy. I'll throw this over to the audience. If you were given the choice between Las Vegas and Peterborough, which one are you choosing? Yep, me too. A show like we did with Caterpillar. Yeah, absolutely. Well, in actual fact, the Caterpillar one, you may recall that I mentioned, the Caterpillar series of video films was supposed to be 3 films long. We've already previewed, or we've shown you 2. There is another one. But it's stuck in approval. Nothing to do with me. It's not our film. It's a Caterpillar film. It's stuck in approval with one of their customers at the moment. And as soon as they get the green light on that, we will be back with Caterpillar. But yes, one of the things that I really did want to do, I'd like to get more guests on the show. I think I'd like to get more guests on the evening show as another. But we've had a bit of a weird period, and I'm sure you will all remember this. If you were here sort of this time last year, in the run-up to Bauma, there was a flurry of activity with new products being introduced and stuff. So all manufacturers tend to get awfully excited about that kind of thing, and they are very happy to come on the shows. But there was some new kit at ConExpo, not as much as there was at Bauma. We're now in that betwixt and between period. We all know that, for example, I remember when I wrote the JCB book, which is available from Amazon, by the way. It's called Renaissance, why JCB is the Apple of the digger world, but that's another side. I remember them telling me they reckon that they release something like 55 new or improved machines every single year. That's more than one a week. So there's lots and lots of stuff going through. But the problem we have really is that those manufacturers, because of COVID, all those manufacturers have got very adept at hosting their own shows like this. So it really is a case of trying to get a few more of them to say, okay, we'll do one of our own, but then we'll jump over and speak to that expert, Mr. Anthony, and we'll leverage his audience, and we'll speak to his people as well. But we are constantly working on those things in the background. Still not sure if I can get now. There's a few things coming up at the same time. Hopefully I can go. Hopefully free caps and pens and everything. Plenty of giveaways at Plantworks. There always is. I'd be up for nipping over to JCB if you do a live show. They aren't too far from me. It'd be good to see how the show is put together. I'll tell you how it's put together, shall I, Jim? Hastily. Because ostensibly this is supposed to be a news show, so because we have daily, there are weekly magazines, obviously, and there are monthly magazines. And one of the things we need to do when we look at this show was to differentiate ourselves. So we like to be on the ball with breaking news. So this, as I say, it remains ostensibly a news show. So while I cobble together a core of content, like I will finish this show now and I will start pulling together some content for tomorrow. I don't actually finish preparing this show until about 30 minutes before we go live, because something might come up. There might be a news announcement or a product we didn't see coming or whatever it might be, and we're keen to get it into the show. So I was only half joking when I said that when we put it together, it's hasty. It really is. We do as much groundwork as we possibly can, but we always leave that a little bit of flexibility. But yeah, love to show that off at some point. I'm sure I said this too. It may have been Gary Muirhead, actually doing a behind the scenes video one of these days. One of the things that I now need to do, now that I've got rid of all of the ConExpo goodies, and we're going to start getting rid of the Plantworks goodies as well, I can actually re-clear my office, because it is a bit of a style at the moment, and I will actually be able to set up another camera so you can actually see what's going on here, and maybe I'll do that. Maybe that should be part of the whole vlog. If I tell you, I mentioned this yesterday, I am going to start a vlog, and I'm writing ideas for the vlog on index cards. That's just so far. In fact, there's another one there, so lots to come. Mick Norton reckons he picked Peterborough over Las Vegas. I think you may be in the minority there. Dan Cullen says, I choose Peterborough or UK as local and supporting the local economy. I think that's a fantastic answer. I think that really is a fantastic answer. I disagree with it wholeheartedly, even though I'm very, very aware of the cost of the environment and everything else, but Vegas gets it for me. Group visit to JCB. I can have a word. I can certainly have a word. I don't know quite how we would go about doing that, but listen, I'm more than happy to answer the question. Algerson, yeah, that's a great idea for a vlog. Maybe I need to do that. As I say, there's lots and lots of vlogs to come. Funnily enough, what has just been suggested, doing a behind the scenes here, kind of flies in the face of precisely what the vlog was supposed to do. In addition to allowing me to do other things, part of the idea of the vlog was to take me out of this office, where I spend 10, 11, sometimes 12 hours a day, which is probably not healthy. Probably doesn't even come into it. It's not healthy, and I've been here for 3 years. So half the idea of the vlog was to take me out. So maybe what I'll do a few outdoor wandery vlogs, and then I'll bring the whole thing back into the office and do something here. I'd also like to do, and maybe PlantWorks is the opportunity for that, to actually do like not a road show, but a road trip. Actually take a road trip. We were talking to Hyundai a while back about myself, Fred, Peter Haddock and Nick Drew driving down to their facility in the Benelux. They're sort of halfway between Belgium and Holland from memory. It never came off, but one of these days maybe. I've changed my mind. CITB are at Peterborough. Yes, there's another good reason to avoid Peterborough. But as I say, it is going to be the UK's biggest plant fest of the year, and who wouldn't want to be at the biggest plant fest of the year? Not me. You're going to bribe Fred? But I'm working on it. Right, people, I have got a call in about 45 minutes time, so I need to go and take care of that. For those of you that are among our Construction Content Creators Club membership, I will be back here, not exactly here, but I'll be back at 7 o'clock tonight. Yes, I know. Last three letters, hint hint. Is the Hyundai place facility anywhere near Luxembourg? I don't know. I'm fairly sure. I can't remember which way round it was. I'm fairly sure we either stayed in Belgium and travelled to Holland to get to it, or we stayed in Holland and travelled to Belgium to get to it. It was one of those two. I don't know quite how far the Lux part of the Benelux is. Not that far, I would guess. But if you'd like to let me know, please do so. But yes, if you are around at 7 p.m. tonight, if you consider yourself a content creator, then we will be throwing open the doors. You should have a link in the private WhatsApp group already. Apparently it's not that close to Luxembourg, it is north of Belgium. Thank you very much indeed. You should, if you are a member of our Construction Content Creators Club, you should already have a link in the WhatsApp group. If you haven't, let me know offline and I will fire it over to you. I'll be going live at 7 p.m. and we have the results of the survey that we did amongst ourselves the last time around. I've also got something to tell you that if you consider yourself to be a content creator, obviously, or an influencer, tonight's show might just please you a bit. So make sure you tune in if you are a content creator. That's going to do us for now. I'll be back here again tomorrow, and we will, as I've already said, we will restart the PlantWorks giveaways because it will be 61 days until the show throws open its doors. Good idea, Dan. What was Dan's idea? I think that may have been was that the trip to JCB? No, not sure. Not sure. Okay, people, go have a fantastic day. Thank you very much indeed for being here. Al, congratulations once again. I will get that model wrapped up for you right now. Please confirm your address and I'll get that over to you just as soon as I possibly can. Back here tomorrow if you're a regular punter, back here at 7 p.m. tonight if you are a content creator and part of our club. Until all of that happens, have a great day, everyone. Until then, all